My daughter smiled as she unwrapped her birthday gift, until she saw it was a dirty, used puzzle with missing pieces. The family laughed like it was harmless. I didn't laugh. I just announced this. And minutes later, their panic started. My daughter pulled a filthy, used puzzle with missing pieces out of a gift bag, and the room exploded with laughter. That was the moment. The exact second I decided I was done with every single one of them. It was Mia's 7th birthday. I'd booked out the entire event garden at Oakbridge Estates. Tables with white linen, a bounce house, a magician, a cake that looked like something out of a movie, 3 tiers, hand-painted frosting, edible butterflies. I'd even hired a photographer to capture everything, just so Mia would have beautiful memories. She deserved it. She's been through more than most adults. Her father vanished when she was 2. No support, no calls, not even a card. And still Mia grew up sweet, kind, and full of light. She's the kind of kid who shares her cupcakes, says thank you without being told, and asks if you're okay when you sigh too loud. And that day was supposed to be about her. The guests arrived slowly. Most were family. My brother Mark, his wife and kids, 2 of my cousins, a couple of aunts, and my younger sister Kelsey, who brought a group of friends that I hadn't even invited. Kelsey strutted in like she owned the place. Hair blown out, fake designer bag, and that smug look she always wore when she felt like she'd won something. I'd been paying for her nursing school since she decided to go back and start fresh. He was always starting over. New goals, new plans, always broke. And I always helped. I paid bills when she couldn't. I let her live with me rent-free when she got evicted. And not once did I throw it in her face. She was carrying a pink gift bag, and before Mia even reached for it, Kelsey told her, loud enough for the whole table to hear, "Open mine last. It's so good." So Mia did. She opened all the other gifts first. Dolls, books, a mermaid tail blanket she loved, and of course the Kindle I bought her with her favorite book series downloaded. She was glowing. Then she reached for Kelsey's bag. I knew something was off the second she pulled the box out. It wasn't even wrapped, just dumped in tissue paper. The puzzle box was torn at the edges, stained with what looked like old coffee. The picture on the front was faded and peeling, and the bottom was taped up like it had been rescued from the trash. Mia still smiled. She tried. She looked at it like maybe there was some joke or surprise. She opened the box. A few dusty pieces inside. Not even half. There was a pause. Then my cousin laughed. My brother snorted. One of Kelsey's friends muttered, "Oh, Miss Savage," under her breath. Kelsey laughed the loudest. Said something about how kids don't need expensive crap to be happy, and Mia's not even gonna remember this in a week. Mia looked at me confused. Not crying. Confused. I stood up. Calm. Clear. No shaking hands. No yelling. I looked around the table and said, "This is the last thing any of you will ever get from me. No more gifts. No more help. Not one more dollar. Don't ask. Don't text. Don't call." They stared like I'd just spoken a foreign language. I turned to Kelsey. "And your tuition? Done. Call your school. Figure it out yourself. I'm not your backup plan anymore." Someone mumbled something about me overreacting. My aunt asked if I was serious. My brother tried to half laugh it off, saying it was just a joke and I should lighten up. But I didn't care. The last thing I did before leaving the party was take the puzzle box out of Mia's hands and drop it straight into the trash can. They thought I was bluffing. That I'd cool down and go back to paying their bills and pretending we were some big happy family. They had no idea what kind of storm I was about to bring down on all of them. They thought I was bluffing. For the first 2 days after the party, no one said a word. Not one call, not one text. I think they were hoping I'd cool off and forget it. That I'd fall back into my usual pattern. Being the one who understands, who lets things go, who pays the bills because it's just easier. They didn't know me at all. On the 3rd day, I canceled Kelsey's tuition payments. The same day, I called the car insurance company and removed my name from the policy that covered my cousin Tara's car. She'd begged me 6 months earlier, said she just needed help, until she got back on her feet. She's been back on her feet for a while, with new nails every week and weekend trips to Vegas. I left her a voicemail. 2 words, handle it. Then I went down the list. My brother's wife? I'd been paying the phone bill on a second line she used for her online resale business. Gone. My Aunt Cheryl? I'd been sending her grocery money every month because she said she had trouble getting to the store. Cancelled the auto deposit. Kelsey's Amazon account? It was still linked to mine. Removed it. Netflix. Hulu. Prime. Shared passwords. Change. They noticed fast. It started with Kelsey. First a text. Then 2 missed calls. Then a long message saying I was ruining her future, that she'd already registered for next semester, and now she didn't know how she'd pay. She said I was punishing her over a harmless prank, and told me to think about Mia. As if this was somehow my daughter's fault for not laughing at being humiliated. I didn't reply. That night Mark showed up at my front door. I didn't invite him in. He stood on the porch talking fast, acting like this was all some misunderstanding. Said he didn't know Kelsey was going to give a joke gift. Said he only laughed because he thought it was all part of the fun. I asked him one question. Would you let someone give your kid garbage and laugh in her face? He didn't answer. Just stared, embarrassed. Before he left, he asked if I was really serious about cutting everyone off. I told him the truth. I wasn't just cutting them off. I was done pretending we were family. Over the next week, I heard all kinds of things through the grapevine. They said I was being cold, that I was losing touch, that I thought I was better than them just because I'd made money. I could have corrected them. Could have told them that it wasn't about money, it was about disrespect. It was about a little girl being mocked on her birthday while her family watched and laughed. But I stayed silent. Mia didn't ask about the puzzle again. She didn't ask about the people who gave it to her either. Instead, we started making new plans. I told her we were going on a trip soon. Somewhere with beaches and no phone calls from people who only show up when they need something. Kelsey, meanwhile, was about to hit a wall she didn't see coming. She'd been so used to me fixing things, I don't think it ever occurred to her that one day I'd actually stop. And when she did finally ask me for help, really beg, it wouldn't be for books or tuition. It would be something much bigger. And I'd still say no. 2 weeks passed. Not one of them apologized. Instead, they started a group chat without me. I only knew because my cousin Tiffany, who wasn't at the party, sent me screenshots. They were mocking me, calling me dramatic, saying I'd come crawling back once I realized how lonely money is. Kelsey even wrote she thinks she's better than us now. Let her rot in her big house with her brat. I didn't reply. Instead, I posted a photo of me and Mia at the airport, boarding passes in hand. Caption: time for sun and silence. We went to Maui. Stayed at a resort with a private beach, got matching pedicures, drank smoothies out of pineapples, and I didn't check a single email from home. While I was away, things started to unravel for them. Tara's car got towed. She called me 4 times in a row, then texted they took it. I need $600 today or I'm screwed. My brother's wife messaged me asking why her phone was shut off during her most important sale weekend of the year. Kelsey's school account went on hold. She wasn't even allowed to access her online classes. When we got back, I came home to a voicemail from my Aunt Cheryl crying about how she couldn't afford her medication. I had no idea if it was real or another guilt trip. I didn't ask. Then came the shift. Instead of asking, they started accusing. They told people I'd always looked down on them, that I used money to control everyone. One of them even said I'd abandoned the family after getting rich, like I hadn't spent years paying for their problems while they laughed behind my back. But the real twist came 3 weeks after the party. Kelsey showed up at my house again. Not dressed up, not smug, no fake designer bag. She looked tired. She asked to come in. I didn't say yes, but I didn't stop her either. She sat at the edge of the couch and told me she'd been in and out of the hospital for the past 2 weeks. She'd had fainting spells. Dizziness. Her legs were swelling. She finally got tested and found out she had a serious condition. It needed surgery. Not tomorrow, but soon. She didn't ask for money right away. First, she told me she was scared. That she didn't have insurance. That she didn't want to die young. She cried. Not loud, not dramatic, just quietly, in that way people do when they've run out of ways to hide how bad it is. Then she asked. She needed $18,000. She said she could cover some of it with loans, maybe, or payment plans, but she'd never get it scheduled in time without putting down something up front. I listened. I didn't interrupt. And when she was done, I stood up, walked to my desk, and opened my laptop. She thought I was going to transfer the money. Instead, I turned the screen toward her. It was a photo album. Our vacation. Maui. Me and Mia smiling on the beach. Mia with sea turtles. Me holding a cocktail under a palm tree. I flipped through every photo. Fully. And then I said the words I knew would finally land. You laughed at my daughter. And now you want mine to save yours. She didn't answer. There was nothing else to say. She left without slamming the door. I think she finally understood. But this wasn't over. Not even close. After that night she didn't call again. Not for a while. But others did. First it was my mother, who hadn't shown up to Mia's party at all, by the way. She called saying she'd heard about Kelsey's condition, and hoped I'd find it in my heart to step up. Not because Kelsey deserved it, she said, but because family is family. Then came Mark. He didn't ask. He just assumed. Said, I know you and Kels had a rough patch, but obviously you're not gonna let her die, right? And then he said something that made my blood run cold. She told us she was getting better, because you were helping. She lied. To save face, to stay the center of their universe. She told everyone I'd forgiven her, that I was covering the surgery, that everything was fine now. Suddenly I started getting friend requests from people I didn't know. Extended family, people I hadn't seen since I was a kid, all reaching out to say how proud they were that I was stepping up after everything. I was done being silent. I posted one picture. Just one. It was a photo of the birthday puzzle. I'd taken it before throwing it away, almost on instinct. The battered box. The missing pieces. The dried something on the side that looked like sauce. No caption. The comments lit up instantly. People who had been quiet until then finally spoke up. One aunt said she hadn't known the gift was real. She thought it was a joke box with money inside. Another said the laughing made her uncomfortable, but she didn't want to make it worse. A neighbor I barely knew said she'd seen Mia crying in the garden after everyone left and almost came to talk to her. But the biggest shift was in the DMs. Strangers started following me. Women mostly. Some moms. Some who'd never had kids. Some who had cut off family too and never talked about it. They said the photo hit them. That it wasn't about a puzzle. It was about people pretending love while quietly hurting you. That post got shared. A lot. Not viral, but enough to get noticed. Enough that Kelsey saw it. And 2 nights later she came back. Not to my door this time. She waited outside my work building. I saw her standing by my car, arms folded, small. She didn't look like someone ready to fight. She looked like someone who'd finally been stripped of the story she'd been telling herself. She didn't ask for money this time. She didn't even try to justify it. He just asked, why are you doing this? And I told her the truth. Because she didn't break me. Because Mia saw everything that day and I refused to teach her that forgiveness comes before self-respect. Because my kindness was never owed, and they all treated it like it was. And because I'm finally free. Kelsey cried. Said she was sorry. Said she wished she could take it back. But sorry doesn't reverse humiliation. It doesn't rewrap a gift. It doesn't make a child forget what it feels like to be laughed at. And when she asked again, is there really nothing you can do? I told her the answer I'd already given the moment she thought a trash puzzle was funny. Oh, and I meant it. After that night, Kelsey disappeared. No calls, no texts, no random pop-ups. Nothing. It was like she just shut the whole world off. I don't know if she was ashamed or if she'd finally realized I wasn't bluffing, but either way, she was gone. For a while things were quiet. Peaceful actually. I focused on work. I took Mia to school every day and picked her up myself, no more juggling with other people. We started cooking dinners together. He loved it. We had a Sunday tradition now, baking cookies, eating them warm and watching a movie in pajamas. And for the first time in years I wasn't sending anyone money I didn't want to. I wasn't checking my phone for guilt trips or emergencies that weren't mine. My bank account grew. So did my peace. But then the story started. Someone told the family I let Kelsey suffer on purpose. That she ended up in the ER again and I didn't even care. My brother told people I was different now. That success had made me cold. They made a group post on Facebook. Not tagging me. Just vague enough to be about someone. It talked about how family is supposed to help each other, how some people forget where they came from, and how money changes people but not in the way you think. Got likes. A lot. From cousins I hadn't seen in 10 years, from friends of friends who knew nothing. I didn't respond. I didn't post a rebuttal. I just watched it all unfold silently, until the GoFundMe showed up. Kelsey started it herself. Title, Help Me Pay for Surgery to Save My Life. She wrote a whole story, about her condition, her fear, her dreams of becoming a nurse. And right in the middle in bold, I have no family willing to help me. No name drop. But everyone knew. I stared at that line for a long time. I didn't donate. I didn't share it. But I did something else. I booked a trip for me and Mia to Paris. Business class. Riverview Hotel. Eiffel Tower tickets already printed. The morning we left, I posted one picture. Me and Mia at the airport again, both of us in sunglasses holding croissants. The caption, "No missing pieces this time." I knew what I was doing. I wanted them to see it. I wanted them to know I wasn't hiding. That I was still living, still traveling, still giving my daughter the life she deserved. While they sat in their echo chamber, stewing over the fact that their grip on me was gone. The messages came in fast. This time not just from family. Strangers. Angry ones. People who donated to the GoFundMe demanding to know why I wouldn't help. One woman said, "How can you watch your sister suffer and go on vacation?" I replied to one. Just one. She laughed while my daughter held a broken gift and cried on her birthday. Now she knows what it feels like to need something and be ignored. Then I turned off my DMs. Let them talk. Let them rage. Let them invent stories to cover what they did. I wasn't part of their game anymore. I'd stopped playing, and without me they had nothing left to take. 6 months passed. Not a single person from that side of the family stepped foot in my home again. The GoFundMe didn't reach its goal. Kelsey posted a few desperate updates, each one more dramatic than the last, but the donations dried up fast. The public sympathy faded when people started asking questions she couldn't answer, like why none of her own family had helped her. Eventually the page was taken down. Quietly. No explanation. I never asked what happened with the surgery. I figured if it was urgent enough she'd have found a way. Or not. Mia stopped mentioning any of them after a while. She didn't ask about birthdays. She didn't ask why her cousins didn't come around anymore. She seemed to understand something adults often take years to learn. That peace sometimes comes from letting go, not holding on. We filled the space they left with something better. We adopted new traditions. New Year's in Costa Rica. Random Tuesday sushi dates. Game nights. Weekend road trips just to buy weird snacks from towns we'd never been to. The people in our life now were ones who brought something real. Kindness, effort, presence. People who never asked what I could do for them, just wanted to be around us. Meanwhile I kept posting. Not to show off. Not even to prove a point anymore. Just because I wanted to. Paris. Kyoto. A spa weekend in Sedona. Mia's school recital. Her winning 3rd place in a science fair. Me launching a new branch of my business. Dinners with friends. Smiles that weren't staged. It didn't take long before one of them cracked. A message showed up in my filtered inbox one morning. She wrote, "I saw your latest post. Looks like you're doing well. I'm glad. I've been thinking about everything. I know I was wrong. I was stupid. But I'm still your sister. Maybe we could talk sometime? Just talk." I read it 3 times. Then I closed it. No response. No drama. Just silence. I've learned that some people only say sorry when they're left outside. When the party goes on without them. And I made peace with that. The truth is I don't hate them. I don't wish them harm. I don't need revenge. They gave my daughter a broken box full of nothing and they laughed. All I did was return the gesture, except I didn't laugh. I just walked away. No. Now I live exactly the life they always thought I was pretending to have. Only it's real. And it's mine.